Hello and welcome to Ruang Didik Podcast by Hive Educators. My name is Chiguzel and today we have a teacher from Nigeria. His name is Alaku Ayiwulu. He happens to be a friend of mine whom I met during a teacher fellowship in the United States back in 2022. This episode will dive into his reflection on his recent visit to Finland. Hello, Alaku.
Hey, hi, Isel.
Yeah, So thank you for agreeing to do this to talk about your experience, particularly your experience in Finland. All right. So before we go into that, can you tell us a bit about your background?
Okay, thank you so much, Isel. I am happy to be here. My name is Alaku Ayiwulu. I'm a STEM teacher. I teach physics and basic sciences, physics in the senior school, basic science in the junior school. And I've been teaching for like 9 years, right? 9 years now in my current school. I teach with the federal government college, JUS. It is amongst 118 unity schools here in Nigeria. It's public owned, and we have a large population of students. We do our best to offer them the best services. I have my first degree and second degree was in physics education in the University of Jos here in Nigeria. I, of course, am a Fulbright TEA alumni, and I am the 2022 Maltina Teacher of the Year. And the Maltina Teacher of the Year award is a big award for teachers here in Nigeria. At some point, one of my students called it the Oscars for Nigerian teachers because it's the biggest platform we have for appreciating teachers and giving them due regard and honor for the teaching profession, and by rewarding teachers with a cash prize, with educational development capacity, and a project for the School of the Champion. So the project can be from classroom blocks to having computers to specifically it comes down to what the school needs at the time. So this year will be the 10th anniversary for the award, and I was its eighth champion. And the award has been a great inspiration to me and to other teachers all over Nigeria who have not been appreciated for a while and had at some point, teaching had become like a placeholder for many graduates who have their eyes on the greener pastures, but they got themselves stuck on teaching for the meantime, so they don't offer the best. So I think with competitions like this, it honors teachers and makes teachers want to become better and upskill themselves to become more educated and more globally recognized. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alaku, for the introduction about yourself as well as Maltina Teacher of the Year award. So congratulations for winning the 2022 Maltina Teacher of the Year award. Yeah,
Thank
so
you
we,
so
in
much.
Malaysia we also have a lot of awards, similar awards, and I do believe that teachers need to be recognized for their contribution, for their innovation, in whatever
Yes.
uh, in whatever form. So what you're
Yes. Yes.
doing
Yes.
is quite amazing, especially because I saw that you it was a building. Was it a building like a school, a building for your
Yes.
school? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
A building with three classrooms, an e-center, and office space for teachers.
yeah. That is so amazing. Yeah, so that's one of the ways that you have contributed for your school. So congratulations
Yes.
again. All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Yeah. So we've been following each other on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook and all that. And so
Yes.
I saw that you went to Finland like around last month. Yeah. So
Yes.
could you tell us about your experience? I mean, how did you prepare for your visit, and what was it for? And what were your expectations before going to Finland? Because as we all know, Finland has the best education system in the whole wide world. So,
Yes.
could you tell us how did you prepare for your visit prior to going there?
Well, I to be frank, I didn't really have much. I didn't really know much about Finland, so I honestly just asked questions like, okay, do they speak English in Finland? No, what language do they communicate in? And is it cold? Is it warm? And so on. That was a major highlight going through my mind, so that I know what to pack. So I know what to pack, and just the basics. I honestly didn't really know that it was a number one place for it was highly rated in terms of education. I didn't really know much about Finland prior to this trip. When I heard I was going to Finland, I was like, okay, 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 yeah, let's just go on. Let me just go for this trip and go and get new experience and so on. Well, it was ultimately a wonderful opportunity to travel one more time to go and get new perspective about the world and gain new knowledge and meet new people. That's what makes us humans to be able to expand our network and grow. So my expectations about Finland, I honestly just had an open mind before traveling. I didn't just want to set the boundary, the bar so high or so low, so I don't go there and feel disappointed or overly, and so on. So I just had my mind really open about at the time and excited about the trip. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. All right. Thank you for that honest answer because you told me that you didn't know anything about Finland, but it's great that you had the opportunity to even go there. Whereas, like for me, for myself, I've been reading about Finland, but I've never stepped foot on that country. So
Oh,
it's a great opportunity for you, to be able to experience Finland firsthand, right? So
yes,
when you were there, I know that you attended like seminars or like um, uh, well, I saw that you visited some or you listened to some lectures. So I'm
yes.
wondering, yeah, I'm wondering. So what were the most striking differences you observed between the Finnish education system and the Nigerian education system? Because when I followed your post, you shared a bit about, you know, I saw some of your pictures. It explained about what the Finnish education system entails. So what are your thoughts on that regarding the differences between Finland and Nigeria?
Right. What makes the Finnish education unique is that it's so much difficult to get into the teaching profession in Finland than it is to become a medical doctor in Finland. Do you know that?
Yeah, I guess.
Right?
I mean, when I read about it, yeah, it's a highly regarded profession as compared to other
Yes,
countries.
it is.
Whereas
Yes, it is.
low. In other countries, teaching is a low status profession, whereas in Finland,
Yes,
it's
yes.
yeah, yeah.
In
All right,
Finland, is the highest status,
yeah.
and all teachers possess a master's degrees in education. They must all possess a master's degree, so they are doing the first and second degree at the same time before going to the classroom. And unlike in Nigeria, having a second degree is not a prerequisite to becoming a teacher. And oftentimes, a lot of teachers are not trained educators. When they just graduate, they just jump into the classrooms, try to get something to eat, trying to get something to do for the meantime before they get a better opportunity. You understand? So over the years, when they find themselves stuck on the job, they try to go get teacher training to help boost their qualifications. That's one major difference I could tell from the Finnish and Nigerian education system. And in terms of standardized testings, there are no standardized tests in Finland, sorry. Whereas in Nigeria, we have a number of highly competitive standardized tests, such as the West Africa Senior School Certificate exams, the Senior Secondary Certificate exam, the basic education certification exam, national common entrance exams, and so on. So we have so many yardsticks for crossing different barriers in the educational system in Nigeria. Unlike in Finland, I think there's always one exam they have to take when they want to cross over into the vocational school or the educational school. I think they take that, and before they go into the universities, they take one kind of they take a standardized testing at that time also. So you see, there's a big difference between Nigeria and Finland. Also, a typical large secondary school in Finland was about 500 students of capacity. While in Nigeria, my school, we have from 2000 to 2000 of 2000, 2,500 students in my school. So an average of 50, in most school, average of 50 students per class or 50 students per teacher. In some schools, you find 100 or 150 students per teacher in some situations. So we have large class sizes. Unlike in Finland, you have, I think, maybe 20 plus or 30 students to one teacher in a classroom. And also, the funding, the Finnish government prioritizes education, thereby providing funding for both public and private schools. While in Nigeria, government education isn't as highly prioritized, and private schools are not government funded, unlike in Finland. The private schools are also government funded, and there's no differences within the schools. That's the truth. And in also in Finland, we I realized that they prioritize collaboration rather than competition between schools in Finland. They collaborate with each other, to grow, to learn, rather than compete to find out, okay, I have the best schools, I have the best students. No. So in Finland, people don't really shop for schools. They just pick schools that are within their vicinity because everywhere in Finland, the schools are the same. The only difference may be in, okay, this school we are more specialized in maybe STEM, this school is more specialized in maybe the arts and so on. They basically don't have differences. It's also academically and so on. Also in Finland, they emphasize on equity, they provide equal opportunities to all students regardless of their background or ability. Here in Africa, I think we're getting there. We're getting there in terms of equity and so on. In terms of collaboration with schools, yeah, there are times we collaborate with each other, but most times schools just want to compete with each other. At the end of the day, they want to know who has the best results in this exam, who has the best students in this exam, and so on. Sometimes I feel it can affect the morals of students because if you meet a Finnish student today and ask him what's the difference between him and his friend, he'll look at you and be like, "Are you crazy? You can't compare me with him. We're two different individuals." So I like the value system instilled in the Finnish schools, whereas they teach the students to compare themselves to who they were yesterday than with someone else. If you if you understand what I'm saying, they promote personal growth rather than competitive growth with one another. That way, you can live in cordial relationship and appreciate everyone for their uniqueness. Also, Finnish teachers have autonomy over their classrooms. They have no supervision whatsoever, no inspectors who come and look after them to micromanage them, to look over their lesson plans, look over how they teach, what they teach, the hierarchy of which they teach, how they arrange their classrooms, and so on. No, the teachers have autonomy over their classrooms. That's something unique I found. I found that they have the freedom to to carry out or teach the curriculum however they see it best to be effective in their classrooms. Well, to wrap this up, the major cornerstones of the Finnish educational system include equity and equality, trust and responsibility, because we trust the teachers so much, autonomy in the pedagogical autonomy, no inspection, no monitoring. There is collaboration they promote the culture of collaboration rather than competition, and teaching is mainly focused on the learner centered and the use of ICT or technology in the classrooms. Thank you.
Okay, interesting. So, um, you highlighted autonomy, teacher autonomy. That is one of the, I think, for even for Malaysians, for Malaysian teacher, we are envious
Okay.
of, Finnish education system whereby they prioritize teacher autonomy. I mean, let me speak about a bit about Malaysian system. We are
Okay.
heading towards provide giving teachers more autonomy in the classroom, but
Okay.
I think if we were to have this, then the inspectorate system needs to be abolished, because in Malaysia we also have the
Yeah.
inspectorates. They come to schools, not every school, but they do come down to schools and observe and give comments. So if that system is still in place, if that they still have that role, I would say like on paper it's purely cosmetic, superficial, because at the end of the
Yeah.
day you would have the inspectorate come down and observe you and all that. So where's the
Mm.
teacher autonomy in that, right? So is it the same for Nigeria?
Yes, the thing we have the inspectorate offices. They come to select schools once in a while, but for the past 3 years, they've come to my school almost more than two, 3 times in a year. So I keep wondering, what's so special about my school? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good that it keeps us on our toes, keeps us on our feet, and helps us ensure we are instilling, we're using the best practices, and using the best guidelines possible to teach our students and offer them the best that we can. Yeah, it
Yeah,
keeps us on
I
our toes. One like in Finland, you just have the freedom. But I think because of the system of trust they have, the value system they have been instilling from the grassroots. I feel that's why it works over there. But if you want to bring that right now in my school system, it might promote laziness and it might promote unaccountability. I think that's what I think. So, but it's something that can be introduced gradually with time. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Thank
It's
you.
the same for Malaysia. I believe because Finnish, I mean, in general, Finnish culture they have high level of trust. That's where the root, that's the root cause. I mean, well, historically, if a country has a lot of corruption, then that would mean it need to have a lot of accountability systems, accountability measures to make sure that corruption doesn't happen. Perhaps it is rooted. Perhaps why we don't have that full culture of trust is because perhaps it's rooted in how some nations we have historically corrupted society or system. So that's why we need very accountability measures whereby to so that we can prevent corruption. I mean, it's the same. I mean, so it trickles down to the education system as well. That's why there's lack of trust. That's why we have the inspectorate. Is that the case for
Yeah.
Nigeria? Do you think so?
Yeah, same thing here. Same applies here. I think so. The lack of trust. Because honestly speaking, even with the inspector here, we still have teachers who are lacking. Teachers who are very lazy and don't put in the work. Teachers who just do what they feel like, and you know. So I feel with the kind of system we are running, I think we still need the inspectorate to keep us on our feet and keep us make us accountable towards everything that we do.
Yeah, I do agree. Yeah, it's the same. I mean, I agree with you because I guess it does. It keeps us on our feet, and so that we are. And at the same time, if we have to think positively, whenever they go to our schools,
Yes.
they inspect us, so they will give us feedback. So I guess we just have to
Yes.
view it positively. Yeah, yeah. So that's
Yes.
the positive thing of having the inspectorate in our education system. All
Yes. I
right.
agree.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Up next is I want to know about the which aspects of the Finnish education system do you think could be realistically implemented in Nigeria, and what challenges do you foresee?
Honestly, I think uh, we need to tone down on the competition between schools because competition becomes unhealthy over the years. I've seen situations whereby we go for competitions or go for programs, and school administrators go above and beyond just to make sure that they come out on top and so on. So I think competition can become unhealthy with time. So I think we also need to learn how to collaborate more rather than withhold information from each other. We should collaborate to help each other grow together because we are here for the students and the children. We're here for their well-being and not for our own, competitive egos or competitiveness to win this prize or to win this. No, I feel like at the end of the day, the children, the kids are why we are here. So it's also good to praise students who do well. We should appreciate students who do well. But sometimes the praise sometimes it can add pressure onto them academically and socially, and it could also demoralize the esteem of an average student or a below average student if you just mount praise on a particular person or a particular achievement over time. You get to miss the process or the growth of other students because some students have different needs and different challenges. So we just need to, find out ways that we can be able to meet these needs because different children have different strengths in different areas. So if you have teachers that are one dimensional who just want to win, 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 you end up having students who are just developed maybe cognitive wise and they end up cramming a lot and don't do very well. So I think collaboration rather than competition should be adopted more often. Then I think we need to adopt special programs for learners with special learning needs. Like there was this class I entered in Finland. It's called the Yopo Education. I see the Yopo class, something like that. Yeah, it's a special class for students who have learning needs. They could be slow learners. They could be having difficulty in this or that. So they have a special class for them. Then in after a month or in 2 months, they put them out in the field to go and become interns for 2 weeks or 4 weeks or so on. They put them in the field to be able to assess their strengths to see whether okay these guys are not they're not cognitive, they're not strong cognitively. Okay, maybe they may have strong motor skills, they may have good communication skills. So they put them in different areas and monitor the students. But at the same time they are teaching them and making sure they cover up with the curriculum with other students so that they can graduate and grow at the same pace as others. So I think yeah, this can be tasking, but I entered the class. I was like, wow, sign me up because it looks like something that I would love. It's an interesting concept. I know that it's a lot of work for the teachers in such classes, but it's for the benefit of the child for the growth of the child, rather than lumping them all together in the same place, and there's no progress there's no progress. So I think that kind of system needs to be adopted. It can be done. It's just funding, I think. Then we need much more funding in the educational sector in Nigeria. In Finland, they prioritize education, even though their take-home pay may not be as large or as huge, but the esteem and prestige that comes with that kind of you being a teacher is just wonderful. Well, down in Africa, you're like bottom of the shelf at some point. Teaching is not really highly regarded until recently. That good things have been coming out of teaching. Like I say, because of teaching, I went to the US for my Fulbright TEA, and because of my teaching, I went to Finland to have this experience. And it's because of teaching that I was able to go to South Korea 2019 for Korea Science and Engineering Fair. And so there are many good things coming out of education. And I think also in Finland, in Nigeria, we need to adopt teaching native languages across different zones to promote unity and to promote, cultural, you just promote our culture. Because I think in um, in schools they just have the basic three languages and they're elective. You mustn't pick them if you want. But in Finland, you learn in Finnish, or if you prefer Swedish, there are classes for Swedish. You learn Finnish, you learn Swedish before they start teaching you your normal class because there are those who speak Swedish, there are those who are Finnish. So you learn the language on the spot in school because you are taught in Finnish. But in Nigerian schools, we teach in English generally. Yeah, so I think over a time you will lose touch with your roots, and that's what's actually going on. Lots of kids growing up and you can't speak our native tongue. You can only communicate in English or Hausa, which is the general language in the north, and so on. Then I think we also need to invest more in student-centered learning. I understand that sometimes the curriculum can be so bulky and large that you need to use differentiated instruction in most times. But I was in communication with some teachers recently in my zone, and I was talking about using technology in teaching. And honestly, close to half of them were like, they were like lost. They were asking me how would they use tech in this and this and this. So it boils down to infrastructure. We lack infrastructure, and sometimes I think we lack the open-mindedness to want to learn more. To want to learn more, yeah. I was trying to help someone yesterday send an email. And he was a senior colleague. So you can imagine it's about open-mindedness. If you're willing to learn, relearn, and so on, you'll be able to grow as a teacher.
Yeah. So speaking of collaboration, I wanna know whether Nigeria has that culture. I mean, among educators, do you have that culture in place already, or is it almost non-existent among yourselves?
It's I think it's almost non. Okay, the collaboration could be in different forms. You could have two schools who are in the same zone, and you could want to help each other out by saying, okay, you look out for me security wise, I look out for you security wise. That happens. But I don't. With teachers, collaborations are rare. Some teachers prefer to, work in isolation. Some teachers prefer to work on their own. Some teachers believe they know what is best for their students. Some believe, you know, we work in isolation. That's just a lot of us. But the collaboration is not often seen with all teachers. You must have issues here and there. But I think promoting that will help more people welcome the idea and work together as a team. Either you are a senior officer, senior teacher, or a new teacher, you should be able to collaborate with one another so that we can progress. Work as a team, work as a professional learning communities in a school. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So collaboration is important, but yeah, it also boils down to the schooling culture, and also the mindsets of
Yes,
among the teachers.
teachers.
If they tend to
Yes.
work in silos, then that will be the dominant culture. But I guess
Yes.
it will be up to us to initiate collaboration. Yeah.
Oh
So
yes.
for your school, I do hope that you are starting something, initiating something with regards to collaborating with other teachers. I do hope that's happening. Is it happening?
Oh yes, I collaborate a lot with with teachers in so many areas. I
Ah,
welcome it. Whenever I have the opportunity, I jump on it to collaborate with teachers. It's fun. You learn from others, and they also learn from me, and so on. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
fun. Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, I agree. And you have international collaborations like this one. This is a collaboration.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, it
yeah,
is
yeah. So
one
it,
one of its kind.
uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, last year I was able to collaborate with VJ,
Uh-huh, yeah.
a fellow Fulbright TEA from India. We were able to have a class with him, with his students and my students. It was an interactive session. It was fun. It was fun. We're hoping to do one this term again, but I have been the one really busy lately, so I just haven't had the time. So I know that soon we'll work something out.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I had a collaboration with VJ as well. It was also last
Oh
year.
yes,
Yeah, yeah, it was fun.
oh
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. So, how has your visit to Finland influenced your teaching methods and philosophy? Yeah, so have you implemented any of them, and what steps have you taken or planned to share your insights and experiences with fellow educators in Nigeria?
Okay. So far so good. I think it has influenced my philosophy in a way. Okay, I believe that all students should be carried along. I shouldn't leave anyone behind. So whatever I teach, I should try and use differentiation to carry everyone along to make sure that the learning is taking place, no matter how strenuous it might be for me. So coming back into the classroom, I try to have a more relaxed atmosphere to to have my students express themselves. I want them to always feel relaxed, and even though I need to rush certain topics and subjects, I have to try to make sure that they have a conducive environment to feel relaxed to be able to ask me even the silliest of questions, but related to education. If you don't have that openness with students, you might not really know what they are thinking or they are going through, and so on. So I hope to encourage more collaboration and teamwork with teachers in school and encourage collaboration methods in teaching and use more of student-centered learning, in the classroom to promote unity, to promote communication, to promote working together as a teamwork with students in the classroom. So I think I want to go back to using cooperative methods of teaching to build to promote team building, teamwork in my classroom. Then I want to provide more personalized support and feedback. I used to do that in the past, but not recently because of time and so on. So I think I want to bring that back so I can visit students outside after school hours to give them support with their learning and encouragement, and also give immediate feedback to students to monitor, to be able to encourage them to learn and overcome learning hurdles and so on. I also want to foster a growth mindset in students and make them embrace mistakes more often and embrace learning opportunities that they find. I know that we actually don't promote this, maybe because sometimes we say if we promote or allow students to embrace mistakes, they might get lazy and so on. But I think that sometimes again, students are so scared of wanting to fail that they don't even make the move. Well, creating a conducive environment will help them take risks, whether they make mistakes or maybe they pass. We get to be there to support them and give them direction and as feedback to help them grow professionally or help them develop passion for learning. Because I think that in my subject area, physics, the first thing I try to do is to get students to enjoy learning physics. Once you, once they enjoy learning physics, I think close to half of the work is done because it's like the hook, line, and sinker. Once you grab their attention, the next thing is you just try to maintain the go with the tides and keep directing them and helping them grow, helping them develop a passion for the subject is I think it's a slow process though. It's a slow process in a fast-paced educational system. We have deadlines, you have curriculums to cover, um you have so much to do for little time. But I think that developing a child should be priority, should be given priority, and we need to slow down a bit to be able to help the students enjoy learning. Then I think we need to prioritize equity and inclusivity in the classroom. Although we do that in my classroom because my school is a mixed school, we do not um, we do not discriminate. So we promote inclusivity, working together, equity, and so on. So it's going to be a difficult path to take, but I think it's worth it. It's worth giving it a try and to encourage teachers to walk this path also.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing. So you were there for almost, you were in Finland for almost like 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, almost, yes.
Yeah.
I think 10 days max, less than 10
Okay.
days. Also. Yeah.
So what was the most memorable or impactful moment of your trip to Finland? And yeah, how do you after coming back from there, how do you stay motivated and inspired in your teaching career? Perhaps you've gained some, I don't know, new perspectives or new insights, new motivation after coming back. So, what are your thoughts?
The most memorable moment of my trip to Finland, I think when we came. we, we're trying to immerse ourselves in the community, in the environment, and get the Finnish experience. So we were trying different kind of meals, and to some extent, we were not understanding, the meals we were having. So I think we had this breakthrough where we found this Taiwanese restaurant, and we were all like, "Wow, mind blown!" We're like, where is this place all this while? So we kept uh, it's a bit of a distance from our hotel, but we take the we take yeah we make that trip down to that restaurant just so we can eat, feel good, and feel happy because it was what was close to home. It was the meals were actually close to home, and we enjoyed ourselves. Also, I my trip to Alto University, we made 3D models of ourselves using the phone app and using the 3D printer, which was really fun. It was a learning. It was a fun activity for all of us, and we made friends out there. I think that's the most memorable for me. Yeah, my time at also University. Then also, how do I stay inspired as a teacher? Well, it boils down to, okay. First of all, receiving an award for my effort has been a major motivation of late. To be honest, then students' appreciation and their feedback add fuel to the fire to keep me moving. Because yeah, some students come back and give you positive appreciation for the work you do. You don't get that often though, so that is also a good motivation. Also, I've been part of some mentorship programs which we I try to uplift other teachers and give them direction and guidance. That has also been a great experience for me. Makes me appreciate the teaching profession. Then I love research, so I research to stay updated on new teaching methods and research on what's going on in education. And it's always a joy to see my students grow to become successful and develop a passion for learning. That alone drives me forward. It makes me feel like whatever I'm doing is actually working and is worth it. So also, I try my best to do self reflection. I think this is really underestimated by teachers. Self reflection, sitting back, take assessment or short assessment of what you've been doing. Okay, look at what I am not doing well, improving in this area, and improving on my teaching practices also help. This helps in allowing me see what I've been doing, what I've done, what I've been doing, and how I can improve myself. So these are like the key elements that keep me motivated in the teaching environment. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by your involvement in mentorship. I would like to see more of that.
Yes,
Please
yes.
update more of your activities online. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Sure, sure, sure. I'll do that.
All right. All right. So, okay, let's go to the last question. Is there anything that you would like to share with our listeners, whether they're in Malaysia or Nigeria or all over the world, about your experiences or the importance of education? Any closing thoughts on that?
Well, education is just key for growth and development. I think it's important for fostering critical thinking, empowering students with active citizens. It helps us in building our self-esteem, our confidence, and emotional intelligence. I believe teachers should continue doing the good work, fighting the good fight. I know it's not easy, it's stressful, it's strenuous, it can be a chore. But like I said, the joy of seeing your students doing well and giving appreciation, the little appreciation for the work you do makes it all worth it. And also, finding time to manage yourselves, to have that work-life balance. If not, you will get stuck in that box. Yeah, I tell people, yeah, teaching can be like you can be teaching for like before 10, 20 years. You find yourself that you've been in this box for a long time and you've not really been branching out, updating yourself, you know, knowing what's going on out there and so on. Keeping in touch with people because it can box you in, and before time has passed, and you look back and be like, okay, yeah, I've had achievement for my students, my children, they've grown and all that. But with yourself personally, how have you grown so far? How have you what have you done? How have you grown from when you started to where you are right now? What else do you have interest in? I think you should develop yourself generally as teachers. That's all I can say right now. Developing ourselves as teachers, upskilling ourselves as teachers, and finding time for personal and professional development, and also finding time for our families because they are the backbone and the motivation for us doing what we do every day. When we wake up till we come back home. I think that's my 2 cents for now.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that. Yes. So basically, teaching is a bittersweet profession.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, teaching is bittersweet. So and
Yes,
also you mentioned about teachers need to develop themselves consistently.
yes,
So I do agree with that. That's why we participate in all of these teacher professional development programs, and perhaps
definitely.
challenge ourselves and apply for awards. It's not for us to
Yes,
show off or acting like we know the best, we are the best, but it's just that
yes,
while applying for those awards, we know that we are challenging ourselves, and also at the same time we get professional development opportunities like what you did. You went to the US for Fulbright. The same goes for me, so that's why we applied for that fellowship and try to develop ourselves, get to know people from other
yes,
countries, and
yes,
open up our minds. And also, on top of that, you applied for Maltina Teacher of the Year. You not only you receive money, for to develop educational programs for your school, but also you got the opportunity to
yes,
go to Finland, and that in itself is a part and parcel of developing yourself as a teacher, right? Yeah. So
yes.
actually, Alko, you are an amazing educator, from Nigeria. So
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
so I do hope the Malaysian teachers here, mostly our audiences are Malaysian. So I do hope the listeners here they would also take inspiration from you, regardless of whichever country. All of the teachers, I believe, they want to contribute, especially excellent teachers like you, Alaku. Yeah.
Oh,
So
you're flattering.
yeah, so we need to take inspiration from one another, and it doesn't
Yes, we
matter
have to.
whether you're a Nigerian or Malaysian. We always have something to share, to teach each other, those sort of things. So yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so that's the end of our episode. So once again, thank you, Alaku, for agreeing to do this. you know
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, from our very first meeting in the US until now, we try to communicate with one another, even though it's just through WhatsApp or Google Meet. But it's nice to
Yes.
finally have this type of collaboration with you, and also
Yes, yes, it is.
and I do hope to see more of what you're going to do in the future.
Thank you so much, Zell. You are so kind. You're very kind. Thank you. And I want to give an appreciation for having me here. And my shout out to all the Malaysian teachers. I know they're doing very good, very great work. And I know that I have a lot to learn from teachers out there. So hopefully we will collaborate more, learn from each other, and we will help ourselves grow. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and you're welcome. And once again, thank you.